Aquarius, the 2nd of June 6 is your final cosmic test. Fail this and stay stuck until 2031. Aquarius, something extraordinary is moving within your energetic field. From the 2nd of June to the 6th of June, the space around you will no longer feel still. This isn't random, it's not a coincidence. You are stepping into your final test, a soul-level moment of destiny, where a new fate is waiting to be written by your choices. The universe is no longer sending you subtle hints. No more soft nudges through intuition. Right now, it's placing 3 spiritual challenges directly in your path. 3 gates disguised as traps, crafted with sacred precision, designed to shake the deepest foundations of who you are, to awaken every lesson your soul has lived through, and ultimately ask you one question, a question only the bravest souls can answer. Will you rise into your most powerful self? Or will you return to the illusions that once almost destroyed you quietly from within? And you feel it already, don't you, Aquarius? That strange pressure in the air. Dreams so sharp they cut like blades. A sudden pull back to people, memories, and places you thought you closed the door on long ago. Maybe someone you haven't seen in years suddenly reappears in your thoughts. Or maybe you find yourself facing an old pattern, a habit, a loop, a pain you thought you'd already outgrown, and it stares back at you, as if it still holds power over you. But this isn't your imagination. This is your soul speaking, a whisper echoing through your being. This is the test. Don't get it confused. Don't look away. Because this isn't just a repeated lesson. This is a karmic checkpoint, a moment your soul has been walking toward for years. And this test only has 2 outcomes: complete liberation, or becoming even more deeply bound to a cycle of emotion that could extend all the way to 2031. 6 more years. 6 years of almost success. 6 years of spiraling in limiting beliefs. 6 years of half-lived dreams. But you're here. You're hearing these words. And that means one thing. Your soul is awake. You've already felt that something is shifting. And in this message, I'm going to reveal the 3 signs you absolutely cannot ignore, how to pass each challenge without losing your inner power, and how to walk through this gateway with clarity, confidence, and deep trust in yourself. You're here, you're listening, which means your soul is awake. Your heart is ready. No more confusion, no more hiding. You are presenting that in itself is the first step toward passing the test. In this message, I'll guide you through each of the key signs the universe is sending your way. I'll show you how to navigate the intense energy swirling around you without losing touch with your inner center. And more than anything, I'll help you face these 3 soul tests with clarity, strength, and deep spiritual peace. Because, Aquarius, this isn't just another astrological forecast. This is a summoning, a spiritual weapon crafted just for you. It's the invisible shield you'll need in this fated battle. And by the end of this message, I'll share with you a sacred ritual, a small action with power great enough to break karmic cycles and unlock the highest timeline your soul has been waiting to access. But that ritual will only work if you are truly awake, if you have the courage to face the truth, even if that clarity stings. So let's begin with the deepest question of all. Why is the universe testing you now? Because you were never born to live an average, predictable, or meaningless life. You weren't created to chase safety. You were born to stir the waters, to transform, to open new pathways, from within yourself and out into every space you touch. You are the visionary of the Zodiac, the rebel soul, the one who sees the future while others cling to the past. But that gift, so radiant it could light up the entire world, comes with a price. And what is that price? It means you must pass through invisible trials that others can't even perceive. It means you carry emotional polarities that no one else has the strength to hold: detachment and passion, logic and intuition, isolation and leadership. You are someone who can disappear in silence and still hold an entire future in the palms of your hands no one else fully sees. And right now, from the 2nd of June to the 6th of June, a battle is quietly erupting inside you. This isn't just a subtle shift. This is a violent storm between two forces within: your higher self and the wounded self from your past, clashing like crashing waves in the middle of a cosmic storm. And this time, the outcome won't just shape how you feel. It will shape your entire future. There's a rare alignment unfolding in your chart. Mercury, the planet of thought, communication, and clarity, is drawing near Neptune, the planet of illusion, confusion, and distorted emotion. And when these two planets meet, the veil between truth and illusion becomes thinner than ever. This is not just a fleeting astrological moment. This is cosmic light piercing the fragile boundary between intuition and fantasy, between awakening and avoidance. It's a spiritual battlefield disguised as just another week. If you're not present, if you're not truly tuned into the energy around you, you will miss the very moment that could change everything. And now, this is the first of 3 sacred signs that your cosmic test has officially begun. Sign 1. The temptation of the familiar. The first sign won't come in the form of chaos out there. It will show up as something eerily familiar. Not just a person from your past, not just an old habit, but anything that once made you feel safe and wounded, both in the very same breath. You might get a message from someone you thought had vanished from your life. Lately, I've been thinking about you. A familiar voice, a toxic opportunity wrapped in a new excuse, a habit you once fought hard to let go of. It returns, but this time, it comes dressed in something more polished, more convincing, more seductive, and far more dangerous. Maybe it's a job you walked away from, a relationship that once left you completely ungrounded, or a dream you've already outgrown but some small part of you still aches for it. And when it shows up, you won't feel it in your mind. You'll feel it in your body. Your chest tightens. Your intuition flares. But at the same time, a part of you misses that old feeling. The rush, the attention, the thrill of a fantasy you once clung to, telling yourself, maybe this time will be different. But Aquarius, don't be fooled. This is not a second chance. This is a trap wrapped in light. The universe isn't trying to deceive you, it's testing you. It wants to know, have you truly let it go? Have you really chosen yourself this time? This test isn't simply asking, can you resist temptation? It's asking something much deeper. Are you awake enough to recognize the ghost of your old life, even when it comes dressed in gold? Can you look it in the eye and say, I love myself too much to go back to what once broke me? Because here's what the universe knows, and what you need to remember. Growth doesn't always arrive as clarity. Sometimes it shows up wrapped in fog. Healing isn't always radiant light. Sometimes it's the return of darkness, just so you can face it with eyes that are no longer blind. Yes, sometimes the darkness returns, not to drown you, but to show you just how strong you've become. This first test won't check your outer actions. It will strike straight at your emotional discipline. It will call out your self-worth and whisper a quiet but haunting question. Will you still settle for less than what you deserve? when you're feeling lonely? Or will you hold your boundaries? Not for ego, but for the highest version of you. Even when your heart still craves the comfort of the familiar? Because, Aquarius, this is not rejection. This is redirection. The universe isn't closing a door on you. It's protecting you from the very thing you once mistook for love, but was truly limitation. So next time that message appears, next time the past finds a way to creep in, next time something looks too good to turn down, but your body tenses like a siren is going off, pause, take a deep breath, and ask your soul, is this what I've evolved to step into, or what I once fought so hate? And remember, this is only the first of the 3 sacred signs. But if you can pass this one, if you can see beyond the shiny disguise of the past, and choose what aligns with your true value, the door to your higher future will begin to open, slowly but irreversibly. Because if you can pass this first test, if you can remain awake, and not be seduced by ghosts in new costumes, then something miraculous begins to happen. The door to your highest reality starts to unlock. And in the next chapter, we'll step into sign number 2, emotional echoes, when old feelings return, not through people, but through your own soul. But before we move forward, remember this. The real test isn't whether the past knocks on your door. It's whether you open it and invite it back in. Sign number 2, emotional chaos and spiritual silence. Aquarius, the second sacred test you're about to face won't come from the outside world. It will rise from deep within you. And that's what makes it one of the most difficult challenges you've ever had to face. There won't be any dramatic warning signs. No crashing waves to brace yourself for. Just a subtle disruption in your heart's rhythm. A vague, almost untraceable sense of emotional collapse that only you can feel. Between the 2nd of June and the 6th of June, your emotional atmosphere might begin to feel completely foreign. One moment, you're embodying your higher self, radiant, clear, powerful. The next, you feel completely drained, irritable, withdrawn, shedding tears over wounds you can't even name. And just when you need a sign, just when you cry out for a message, for a light, for clarity, you turn to the universe. You pray. You meditate. You pull tarot cards. You journal. You beg the universe, please say something. But all you hear is silence. A silence so dry, so sharp. It almost rings in your ears. But Aquarius, listen to this with your heart. That silence is not punishment. It's a sacred soul initiation. Because in the final stage of awakening, the greatest teachers always go silent. The universe is asking you to trust, not in what you see, but in what you know. You are being tested to stay the course, even when the road ahead disappears. This isn't a test of talent or ability. It's a test of faith, the kind that remains, even when every signal is gone. Can you stay grounded? When the winds howl from every direction, and there's nothing external to hold on to, can you hold your center? While emotions crash like waves trying to drown you? Can you remember, you are the light? When your soul whispers, and the world screams? Because this test isn't about control. It's about your capacity to hold yourself, even when your spiritual compass goes dark, when the skies above your soul are stormy and unclear. This emotional chaos isn't a sign of failure. It's a mirror, reflecting the parts of you still cracked, the wounds still bleeding, the longings that have yet to be loved or released. And the silence from spirit? Don't mistake it for abandonment. It's a sacred portal, calling you to become the voice You've been waiting to hear from someone else. It's asking you to anchor into stillness and become the guide your own soul has longed for. Aquarius, you're not being left behind. You're being forged in the fire you once feared. This test isn't about how well you perform. It's about this one question. Can you listen deeply to yourself when everything else goes quiet? And here's the hard truth. Most people don't pass this test, not because the storm is too big, but because they resist it. But when you stop running from the chaos, when you meet it with your breath, when you witness it without judgment, the storm begins to dissolve. And something miraculous happens. A stillness like cool water softens your soul. A flicker of clarity breaks through. A wave of gentle peace expands through your chest. Not because the world changed, but because you did. That's the sign your soul has leveled up. That's the voice of your higher self whispering, "You made it." But remember, that transformation, that calm, that wisdom, it only arrives after the storm. So when the darkness comes, don't pull away. When the emotions swell, don't resist. When your prayers are answered with silence, don't believe you've been forgotten. You're not alone. You're simply being tested to prove one thing. The light within you doesn't need to be fueled by the outside world, because you are the fire. Now, say this with me. I choose stillness over panic. I trust the process. I am passing the test. And when you do, when you walk through the storm and hold sacred space for your soul in the silence, you'll be ready for the final challenge. Sign number 3, the mirror enemy. This is a test that very few are awake enough to recognize, but it is the one that reveals everything you need to see. It doesn't arrive with lightning strikes or major upheaval. It begins in a tiny moment. A flicker of the eye, a tight squeeze in your chest, a breath that suddenly feels heavy. Someone says something, a tone, a word, their energy, and it hits a nerve. You feel the heat rising. You want to fire back. You want to walk away. You want to reclaim the power you feel slipping. But right before you react, pause. Take a deep breath. Because what's happening right now isn't an attack. It's a mirror. The universe didn't send this person for you to fix or to fight. It's revealing a version of you, someone you once were, or a part of you that still hasn't fully healed. Maybe once. You too longed to be recognized, just like them. You may have avoided hard truths. You may have used pride to hide your pain and performance to protect your deepest wounds. And now, as you face that same energy in someone else, the universe is offering you a sacred choice. This isn't about them. It's about you and who you are becoming. So, what will you choose? Judgment or compassion with healthy boundaries? Reacting from ego or responding with maturity? Getting pulled into conflict or rising above with clarity and calm? Aquarius, this is your final spiritual test. The last sacred trap, where you're not being tested on your reactions, but on your capacity to transcend, because the universe isn't measuring how clever your words are. It's watching the frequency you align with. Not your words, but your energy. If you fall into the trap, if you react, engage, resist, get swept up in the storm, then the cycle resets. A new face, but the same lesson, over and over, until you truly rise beyond it. But if you pause, breathe, and softly say to yourself, I see the pattern, but I'm not who I used to be, then something miraculous happens. The karmic loop breaks. The people who once triggered you vanish. The stories written in fear end, because you've graduated from that vibration. And the universe? It doesn't wait. It responds immediately. The noise around you fades. The path ahead clears. Opportunities you couldn't see before begin to appear. And those who once drained you suddenly feel irrelevant. And in their place, you receive something rare. Freedom from the shadows of your past. Alignment with your soul's highest timeline. A legacy built on truth, not fear. So Aquarius, if someone touches an old wound between the 2nd of June and the 6th of June, pause and look deeper. They're not your enemy. They are the gateway, the mirror, the moment calling you to choose the higher path. If anyone challenges you between the 2nd of June and the 6th of June, pause. Look again. They are not the enemy. They are the test, the mirror of your soul, the door asking you, repeat or rise. Will you respond as your old self? Or as your higher self, the one you're meant to become? Because this isn't just another disagreement. This is your final exam. And the real question isn't, how well can you react? It's, how far have you evolved? You didn't come into this world to argue. You came here to awaken, to rise, to become the soul you were born to be. And when you choose that, when you choose inner peace over external chaos, the universe will respond in real time. Every obstacle will begin to fall away, and a new door will swing wide open. The next chapter of your life. Now let's speak the truth. Not to scare you, but to awaken your soul. What happens if you fail this test? If you fall into the old pattern again? If you chase what's already ended? If you let emotions rule your fate? The universe won't punish you, but it will pause you. Suddenly, everything slows down. The flow stops. Doors that were once wide open start to slam shut. And you'll find yourself asking, why do I feel so stuck? And the answer is painfully simple. Because you chose comfort over evolution. You listened to the noise of the world instead of the wisdom within. You said yes to the past and no to your own destiny. It won't last forever, but it will slow you down. Those who were once your soul allies will drift out of your frequency. The opportunities that once circled around you will move on to someone else. And your destiny will still be there, waiting patiently until you return to the true path of your soul. But here's the most beautiful part of all. If you pass this test, Aquarius, if you are brave enough to say yes to your highest path, and wise enough to say no to old depleted frequencies, then the 6th of June won't just mark the end of a cycle. It will be your rebirth. But only if you conquer this final battle. So now the real question becomes, how do you protect your soul? How do you stay conscious in the middle of the invisible storm the universe is placing around you? Here is a sacred ritual made just for you, Aquarius. Simple, powerful, divine. From the 2nd of June to the 6th of June, before the world has a chance to touch you, create a sacred energetic space for yourself. Light a white candle. That flame will call in protection, clarity, and divine guidance from your soul's highest realm. Take a piece of paper. Write down the names of the 3 challenges moving in the shadows. Temptation disguised as desire. Emotional chaos. Reflected enemies. Because when you name the darkness, you begin to strip it of its power. To name is to disarm. To recognize is to release. Now breathe deeply. Close your eyes. Feel your body anchoring into the present, like a pillar of light. And then, repeat this mantra 11 times. I choose truth. I protect my path. I overcome my tests. Say it with your whole heart. Say it as if your soul is listening, because it is. Light. Right. Speak. Breathe. Align. The rest? The universe will handle it. Aquarius, this is not an ordinary week. This is a chosen moment. The universe is asking you, are you ready to rise? You didn't come here to look back. You weren't born to repeat broken cycles. You didn't do all that healing just to settle for less than your light. You were born to break the mold, to shift timelines, to lead with your inner radiance. Let the 6th of June become your divine dividing line, where the old you ends and your true legacy begins. The universe is watching. Your soul is ready. Rise, Aquarius. Not next week. Not when things calm down. Now. Right now. In this very breath. You are standing on the edge of destiny. From the 2nd of June to the 6th of June, the universe isn't just sending signals. It is activating you, placing you at the center of a spiritual test. And no matter how intense it gets, you must remember this. You were never born to fail. You were not born to accept scraps. You were not meant to shrink into places that don't honor your soul. You were not meant to call wounds your fate. You were not meant to dim your light, just because others are afraid of its brilliance. You were born for something greater, to break ancestral karma, to rewrite the script of destiny, to build a legacy of light, not just for yourself, but for every soul connected to your bloodline. You came here to end cycles that have lasted for generations. But to do that, Aquarius, you must win this war. The war within you, the war around you, the war through you. So now, don't wait. Don't doubt. The energy has already begun to move. Your soul has already spoken. The only thing left to do is say one word, yes, and act as if your soul has been waiting for this moment your whole life. Step 1. Declare it with your entire being. Write this affirmation not just once, but exactly 11 times. The number of sacred awakening, of the soul crossing the threshold of destiny. I pass my divine test. I welcome my sacred timeline. Repeat it with conviction. Say it until every cell in your body vibrates. Say it as if your life depends on it. Because the truth is, it does. Every time you speak these words, you are sealing a mark in the spirit realm, declaring to the universe, I will not fall, I rise. Step 2. Open your heart to the invisible signs. The next door is already approaching, in the form of a sudden conversation, a strange glance, or a moment of unexpected awakening. Don't let noise distract you from it. Don't let a scattered mind break your connection. If this were a video, I'd tell you to turn on notifications. But the truth is, you must turn on your own awareness. Because June is not just another month. It carries gifts, but only those aligned with higher frequencies will be able to receive them. Step 3. Share the light you've just found. Someone near you, someone silently struggling, is trapped in the same cycle you've just broken free from. They don't see the test. They don't recognize the pattern. But you do. So don't stay silent. Share your wisdom. Speak the truth. You might just be saving another soul's timeline. And that, Aquarius, is your true mission. Not to hoard the light, but to become the lighthouse. And finally, engrave this truth in your heart. The universe is not punishing you. The universe is preparing you. Every wound you've ever carried, every betrayal you've endured, every silent tear you've cried, was not random. They were training for this very moment. This test, this fire, this gate to the destiny you've always known you were meant for. When you pass it, you won't just find peace, you will rebirth into your power. You won't just brush against good fortune, you will merge with legacy. And those who once doubted you, they will be left speechless as they watch you become everything you were meant to be. So I ask you one last time, are you ready to stop running from your own light? Are you ready to stop shrinking for the comfort of others? Are you ready to step into the sacred timeline your soul has already chosen? The clock is ticking. The gate is open. The test has begun. Let every chain be shattered by your own choice. Let your legacy begin now. The universe is watching. Rise, Aquarius. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. But right now. You were not born to postpone your destiny. You are here to heal, to transform, to rise. And when you do, everything changes. The future accelerates. The doors that were once sealed shut begin to open. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You don't need anyone to grant you permission. You are the source of power. You don't need approval to walk into your destiny. Your destiny is waiting for you to claim it. So walk in, not with fear, but with faith. Not with doubt, but with certainty. Rise, Aquarius. This is your moment.